A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book review. Cheers. This time I am reviewing the fourth Bentley Little novel. Now I've already reviewed his first three. The Revelation, The Mailman, and Death Instinct. This is the fourth book, The Summoning. And as you can tell, I am a huge Bentley Little fan. I jumped on the Bentley Little bandwagon this year. But yeah, I'm just going to get right into the next episode of Okay, so The Summoning starts with a preacher who gets a dream. He dreams of Jesus. And he's kind of really taken by this. And at the end of this opening, you get this really chilling idea or concept that Jesus' favorite color is black. So this preacher is going on to build this church in this small town in Arizona, and basically making additions to it and painting the whole church black, and you don't really know what's going on with him. So from the get-go, it appears to be one of those religious horror stories, kind of like The Exorcist style. We're introduced to the main character, this Chinese girl called Sue. Sue is part of a family that is the only Asian family in this small town, and they own the Chinese restaurant. Okay. Her grandmother is very eccentric and kind of does kind of weird Chinese practices and whatnot. Her parents are constantly fighting. She has a younger brother. She's about 22. She has a brother in high school. She enrolls in this course at the local school, like a night class, almost like a university extra credit thing. But the class doesn't get picked up because she's the only one that enrolls in it. So the guy that's running the class, it's a class on journalism, says, come and work for my paper and I'll make a deal and that can get you the extra credits. Okay. Why is this important? It's important because at this time, something is killing people and it's draining them of their blood. All right, you think vampire. So this has now gone from religious horror to vampire horror. Okay. The owner of the newspaper has a brother in town. The brother is the sheriff. All right, so we have the family connection there. The newspaper owner, his name is Rich, I believe. His wife, they're kind of on the outs at the moment. They have a young daughter, and she works at the newspaper with him, but she wants to do her own thing. So she quits the paper and goes and gets a job at the new church that the pastor from the opening, who believes Jesus likes black, has opened, Pastor Wheeler. And he starts preaching to people about how he has seen Jesus, and he's building this church, and he's preaching to people, and more people are dying. And then it goes into this whole, is it a religious thing? Is it a vampire thing? Well, it's kind of both. However, the main characters still seem to be the Chinese family that runs the only Chinese restaurant in town. And you get a lot of Asian hate in this book. For a reason. It's not that the author is inherently racist. It's because the vampire is a Chinese vampire. There you go. So after all of these killings and whatnot, and working out that this thing is this breed of Chinese vampire that has come to this small town, the FBI get involved, and then the FBI agent's a prick, but then he believes, and it's all kinds of weird shit. Ultimately, the grandmother has to pick 7 people that are going to go and fight this Chinese vampire. They can't understand how 2 of the bodies that turned up were killed, because the Chinese vampire can't move through running water. And it's ultimately discovered that in China, the rivers flow in a different direction to in America, or some shit. I don't know. But they ultimately go and confront this vampire. The guy who runs newspaper, Rich, his wife is killed by the vampire. His daughter is killed by the vampire. Something very rare in this style of horror novel, where they will literally kill off a child to further the plot. But there you have it. And they go and they confront the vampire, and there you go. So it's religious, it's vampiric. Out of the 3 Bentley Little novels I have read previously to this one, this was kind of the worst of the 4, I guess. I didn't enjoy this as much. It's a fine book, don't get me wrong. And some of the descriptions of the vampire, of what's going on, very, very well done. I felt the perspective changed too much in this. Every chapter was a shift in. And some chapters, you got the perspective of a character that doesn't appear again for like 100 pages. And then, oh, it's this guy again. Who was he? I have to go back. And yeah, it was a bit of a mess. A miss for Bentley Little after the first 3 books that he wrote. But still an enjoyable horror novel. I enjoyed the Chinese vampire aspect of it. I thought that was kind of cool. But, you know, having a Chinese vampire and then having one Chinese family in town was a little on the nose, I thought. But that's just my opinion. So there you go. That's The Summoning by Bentley Little. Great cover, however. So there you have that one. Would I recommend it? I would, but please go and read his earlier works, his first 3 books first, and then, you know, check this one out. Why not? If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video, but most importantly, have a drink. Stay safe, have a fantastic rest of your day, but most importantly, read a fucking book, people.